Welcome to Variant Edition, your source for comic book news and culture. I'm Mike.
And I'm Nick. Every week, Variant Edition reviews the best that comics has to offer and brings you the latest comic news and interviews from some of the biggest names in the business.
We started our new Variant Edition Tuesdays last week, and so far the response has been very positive. But don't forget, we won't be replacing our regular episodes, just moving them later on into the week.
Or after the weekend. Just last night, we posted the first day of our coverage from the New York Comic Con, and later this week, we'll have coverage from last week's Mid-Jersey Comic Con. But don't worry, once we're back on schedule, it's going to be Tuesdays and Fridays.
Okay, now we've only got 5 minutes. Here comes Nick with the news.
Here are your headlines for Tuesday, April 3rd, 2007. Well, the comic book domination of the #1 box office spot may be over, but that doesn't mean that the two latest comic book releases are finished. 300 finished at number 3 this weekend with an estimated 11 million, for a total of 179 million, taking 300 even closer to that 200 million mark. TMNT closed at number 4 with 9 million, bringing its 2-week total to 38.5 million. What's next? Why, that would be Spider-Man, but that's another month off. Speaking of Spider-Man, Sony has reserved May 2009 for Spider-Man number 4, fueling rumors that while the latest film may not end well for Spidey, it won't be his last. It remains to be seen exactly who will be returning on both sides of that camera. So New York City area comic book fans had it pretty good this year with the New York Comic Con, and now Reed Exhibitions, who put on the blockbuster show, have announced the New York Anime Festival for December 7th through the 9th. Guess there will be 2 Nerd Proms in New York this year. But back to comics. The Baltimore Comic Con has announced that superstar Jim Lee will be appearing as a special guest. The Baltimore Comic Con is the host to the annual Harvey Awards and takes place September 8th and 9th. And now for some bullet points. New style. Mark Bagley will be drawing the second arc of The Mighty Avengers, and Frank Cho back for the third. The Eagle Award nominations are up. We didn't get one, but don't forget to vote anyway. Bendis and Oeming's Powers will be changing formats with issue number 25, up to 40 pages for $3.99. Choose Co. LLC filed a lawsuit for trademark infringement against Daimler Chrysler and Marvel Entertainment. The lawsuit alleges that the ad infringes an old Choose Your Own Adventures book slogan. And the adolescent radioactive black belt hamsters are returning to comics from Dynamite. No, really.
Thanks, Nick, for the news. This week has some pretty big releases. Just 1 week after the reprint of number 1 hit, we have issue number 2 of Buffy Season 8. Add another Avengers title to the list, Avengers the Initiative will chronicle the 50-state initiative that was introduced in Civil War. Hey, maybe that's why Cap lost, because it'll sell more books. But at least we get some Oeming goodness with Omega Flight number 1. Stephen King's Dark Tower Gunslinger Born number 3 hits this week. Pick it up for some sweet J. Lee art. DC seems to be releasing most of its Superman titles this week. We've got Supergirl 16, Supergirl and the Legion of Superheroes 28, Superman Batman 33, and Superman 661. Cool, 5 months before we can start making those Mark of the Beast jokes. Red Sonja fans, be sure to check out Savage Tales from Dynamite, a 48-page anthology featuring 4 stories, including Cthulhu and the Old Ones. With even more Oeming goodness, we have the excellent Cross Bronx trades hitting this week. It collects the entire miniseries by Ivan Brandon and Mike Oeming for only $14.99. And for those with a little more cash and a burning desire for oversized Batman, check out Absolute Batman The Long Halloween. That'll set you back $75. Me, I'll be reading Marvel Zombies vs. Army of Darkness, just because Mike hates it.
Okay, so the toy segment here, we've got the Marvel Select Mephisto by Paul Harding.
That's right. Last week we told you guys that this was coming out. He's out, and here he is. I don't really know much about the character. Mike knows a lot more about him than I do.
It has to do a lot with Ghost Rider, and
He's
personally
like Marvel's
speaking,
Satan or
kinda.
something?
It's basically what it is, but you can't say that at the time. So they made Mephisto, and it's got a great use of red, because he's red. I mean, the hair is terrible, and it's just not that great. But also, coming out this week, we've got a couple more statues coming out.
Oh, yes, we do.
I'm sure Mr. Swistak can't wait to get his hands on.
Coming out Wednesday, we have more Batman black and white statues.
That's the Matt Wagner one, right?
Yes.
Absolutely.
And for those of you who haven't been watching the show, there's little sweet, like 5.5-inch tall statues, but they're really, really nice.
Oh, absolutely. And of course, you've also got the Marvel's Heroes and Villains bookends, which are kind of like the Mount Rushmore of Marvel.
Yeah. We saw them at the Baltimore Con.
And they
had them on display.
Really,
Looked quite nice.
Really nice.
And I'm interested to see if the finished result, if the packaged product is going to look like what we saw at the convention.
Absolutely. And of course, if you are looking forward and you've been collecting the Marvel Spider-Man...
The Sinister Six statue set. Spider-Man's coming out this week.
Absolutely. Pick him up because he's Spider-Man.
That's
if you
right.
don't, I'll web you.
Yeah, break the bank on this one.
Okay, that's it for Variant Edition Tuesday. Be sure to check out our first day of the New York Comic Con coverage that we just posted, and then next week, watch out for our Saturday coverage of the New York Comic Con.
Before that, we'll have our exclusive coverage of last weekend's Mid-Jersey Comic Con. Now, last year, Mid-Jersey Comic Con was like our first real con coverage, so we always have a good time. Plus, Kevin got a sit-down interview with comics legend Michael Golden,
who, of course, is coming back in a huge way.
That's right.
And remember, there are quite a few ways to watch us here at Variant Edition.
Yes, that's right. There's VariantEdition.com, iTunes,
VO, YouTube, Google Video, Blip TV, Akimbo,
and with more to come in the future.
Naturally. Well, that's it for our second episode of Variant Edition Tuesday. We'll see you later on in the week.